Now, from across the tri-states, this is KHQA Sports.
A perfect Saturday for a day at the ballpark. You'll see the living proof of that with Chris Dewar in overtime here in a bit. But we'll take you to some action from the MLB right now. Cubs trying to take their second in the row from the Cards down in Busch today. Junior Lake getting things started as he's going to connect on this one. Take this one deep left. That is out of here. Cubs go up 1-0 early. Matt Adams going to return the favor a short while later on the 2-1 pitch. He take that one deep to right. We're all square at one. Descalso is going to single out to center right here. That plates Yadier Molina, the Cub killer. Card's going to go up 2-1. Then Wainwright going to get some burn at the dish. RBI single in the center. Another run comes around to score. 5-2 Cards at this point. John Jay is going to single to shallow left. That brings in two more as well. Cards go up 9-2, and they're going to go on and win this one today as they beat the Cubbies in Game 2 of 3-game set. Cardinals win this 10-4 today. And we get to talk golf, of course. The Masters is going on down at Augusta National in beautiful, sunny Georgia. Jordan Spieth, the 20-year-old, makes a charge today as Bubba Watson falls a little bit. They're both at 5 under on the day. And Matt Kuchar, who was oh so close last week, he's in at 4 under. So quite the Sunday that is going to be heading our way tomorrow down there. It is going to be a spectacular finish. Even with Tiger not in the field, it is going to be absolutely unbelievable. And we'll shift over to overtime right now. Plenty of home runs to see tonight. Chris Dewar is going to have all of that. So make sure you stick around and catch that soon.
All right. Thanks, Will. Before we get out the door here, we're going to take a look at weather. Jeremy, what's going on?
Yeah, we do have the shot of maybe some thunderstorms as we go through the overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. Some of those could be strong to severe even as we go through the day tomorrow. Your 7-day forecast shows those thunderstorm chances on Sunday. High temperatures around 68 tomorrow. And then we cool things off drastically by Monday as a cold front pushes through, temps falling back to around 40 degrees. Sunshine returns on Tuesday. It's going to be pretty chilly out there, though. Highs around 50, and then we have a gradual warming trend as we go through midweek, getting up to around 60 on Wednesday, 65 by Thursday. Then some showers roll in as we get towards week's end, and temperatures back into the 60s and mid-60s by next weekend. So again, we do have the maybe a chance of some severe storms, strong to severe storms as we go through the day tomorrow. We're going to be watching it here at the 7 Storm team and keep you informed. And as always, you can log on to KHQA.com and we have the radar on there and everything. Right. And yeah, you can log on there and track those storms yourself. Right now, they're out across portions of the plains, but we're watching them as they head to the northeast overnight.
Another unhappy weather roller coaster.
I know, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I know, yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot. That's going to do it for us. Stay tuned. Chris Dewar is in next with Overtime. Have a great evening, everybody. Raj is up. Look what she left here. I need a reason to pick one.
Be a good one. Hi there. Hey, excellent. Okay.
This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is April the 12th, true believers, and you have once again entered overtime. And speaking plainly, I must have muttered to myself at least a half dozen times today, if only every Saturday could be like this Saturday. We apparently got San Diego's weather by mistake. I'm sure that will change, but it was at least glorious while it lasted. And in the wake of the winter that caused its fair share of seasonal affective disorder and icy malaise, even in the sports business, this was both literally and figuratively the spring thaw. The sports action itself actually felt peppier on this day, and we've got plenty of it coming your way as the KHQA sports team has been on the road since 7 a.m. this morning to scour the tri-states for highlights. We'll start in Beardstown with a fab freshman. You're looking at Carly Wilson, championship game of the Beardstown softball tournament. The host team taking on QND, and Miss Carly with an RBI double. She's absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. More on her in a second. Two more runs would score right here as QND extends its lead after trailing 1-0 early in this one to 3-1. Then Carly Wilson again. She had 2 homers in the preliminary game today. She has one more coming up for you right here as she goes 7 for 7 on the day with 7 ribbies. I guess that's a pretty good day at the ballpark for Miss Wilson. Oh, but we're not done yet with the homer ball. All of her teammates come out to the plate to greet the outstanding freshman. I'm guessing you're going to see some of that on Sensational 7 this week. Her teammate, your reigning student athlete of the week, Kristen Gengenbacher, she's going to leave the yard as well, as after initially surrendering a 1-0 lead, QND comes all the way back and leaves, no doubt about it, winning the championship of the Beardstown tournament by the final count in this one of 10-1. Earlier in the day, as I mentioned, it was the Carly Wilson show yet again. Those 2 homers, 3 for 3 at the plate, just a ridiculously good day for her. And also earlier in the day, Illini West would beat Beardstown 10-4. That game would feature home runs by Elise Trout and Josie Finch, as Illini West was neither fish nor foul. There you go. Also today, Galesburg sweeps a pair from Quincy High School, winning 6-3 and 19-1 were your finals in softball on the docket. Also, Pittsfield, way too much for Southeastern, posting a 10-8 victory today behind the first ever varsity pitching victory for Miss Amber Miller. Congratulations to her. And then Pittsfield, the Lady Sockies, as they've done all week long, starting to erupt a little bit, breaking out the bats at Southeastern's expense and win a 15-0 decision there as well. And look at Camp Point Central, still undefeated in the early season, going on the road and beating Western 8-5 today. The Lady Panthers now 8-0 on the season. We had great baseball today with the wind blowing out between West Hancock, Griggsville, Perry. Strange occurrence right here, tied up at 2 in the 5th inning. That's Isaac Whitaker taking one off the helmet with runners at first and second. The runners allowed to come home. Isaac Whitaker's head still ringing at that point. He comes back a pitch later and deposits one out into deep left field. 2-run homer. All of a sudden, what was a 2-2 game is suddenly a 5-2 game in favor of the Tornadoes. The Titans trying to get out of the frame. Nice play right here at second base by Jacob Lohman to end that threat. But the 6th inning, more to come in terms of power ball for the Tornadoes. Wind blowing out today. This is Mr. Jordan Dehart setting the table with 2 outs for Skylar Miller, who's going to do a little work of his own accord, leaving the yard as well, putting this one in the jet stream and just letting it fly to deep center field. 2-run jack at that point. The Tornadoes would add 7 more runs in the 7th inning, including a grand slam today from Caleb Bradshaw in a wild game number 1, winning 14-2. Game number 2, just as wild, just as fun, but this time with the opposite effect as West Hancock rallies all the way back and then wins today over Griggsville Perry in the nightcap on a walk-off home run by Mr. Cole Fox that's probably still traveling as we speak. So interesting day of baseball there, to be certain. Also on the docket today, a split everywhere in the Western Big Six, including for the Quincy Blue Devils as they go on the road to Galesburg. They end up losing the first game 2-0. The only hits in that first game delivered by Ben Merrow and Alex Million. Second game, though, Blue Devils kind of put it together. Drake Green gave an outstanding pitching performance as Quincy High does, in fact, get the split. Elsewhere on the docket today, Western playing 2 games against differing foes. The Wildcats lost both, despite the hitting heroics of Dakota Gerding in game number 1 and Austin Ward in game number 2. Unity today, a winner over Pleasant Hill at home. Brody Dunker with a big day at the plate. 3 ribbies in all for his team. Beardstown today broke out the whooping sticks at the expense of Bushnell, winning 13-2 and 20-1 in that second game. Split today down in Saukee country. Pittsfield wins the opener 5-3 over Central. Taylor Hyman comes back and pitches his team to victory in the second one, 4-1 your final there. Quincy Notre Dame on the road at Jacksonville and taking the Crimsons apart, playing some power ball today in their own right with the Raiders. Joey Pollock, the outstanding youngster, continues to wield a furious bat. Had a home run today, go 4 for 4 in the first game. Second game, Mr. Tolman with a home run as well, as the Raiders get it done at the expense of the Crimsons. Always a fun rivalry, although not for the Crimsons today. Also on the docket today, Rushville Industry doing some work today. Great pitching, first from Beck Harris in the first game, 13 strikeouts to shut out Lewiston, and then it's Logan Ambrosius with 9 strikeouts in just 5 innings in the second, as the Rockets seem to be putting together their mojo as well. And West Central a winner today over Liberty, 12-4 was your final there. Let's pick it up at the Knox County Tournament. Extra innings in the opener today, the 8 a.m. game between Knox and Novinger. We go to the 9th inning tied at 3. Randall McCarty gets the Eagles started by getting hit by the pitch. That brings up the number 9 spot hitter, Seth Menier, who's going to come up with the opposite field double. The freshman getting it done for his team, driving in the go-ahead run. Later in the frame, though, we're not done. Joey McCauley is the pitcher, going to help his own cause with one of the best bunts you're going to see all season long. It's just going to roll tantalizingly out of reach and get him to first base. The single advances the runner, and that sets up another freshman in this one, Isaiah Preby. Izzy to his friends right here, adds a 2-run single to extend the lead to 6-3 at that point in the ninth. Then Joey McCauley, as I mentioned, pitching well. The lefty was crafty today, getting a strikeout and a couple of ground balls that he needed in the bottom of the frame as his team upsets Novinger and gets the job done, putting themselves in championship competition. They were looking for a second upset today, where the Eagles against Marion County up 1-0 early in that game. However, the Mustangs would quickly quash any of that threat in the bottom of the first inning. It starts right here. Logan Krigbaum would lead off with a single into short left field. That sets the table for Jacob Stratton, helping his own cause here with a swinging bunt. He's quick. Throw didn't help any as a run comes home to score. It's 1-1 at that point. Connor Bridgman going to come up in just a second. First, how about Luke Stratton legging out an infield single here to keep the momentum rolling? It'd be a long time before the Knox County Eagles could get it out. There's the aforementioned Connor Bridgman bridging the gap for his team. 2 RBI single up the gut. We're not done yet in that first frame. Reed Plunkett, do your work. About to churn a little number right here out in the left field. That's going to score 2 more on the double. It's 5-1, but we're still not done in the frame. Marion County woke up apparently early, vibrant, and ready to play because Ben Smith's going to add to the total. 6-1 early. Knox County just couldn't get any back of its mojo for the upset as they lose today 12-7. So Marion County goes on to the championship game. More on them in a second and who they would play. The 8 o'clock game just up the road in town, Highland and Scotland County. This game kind of a wild one early on. Cody Wilkins jumps all over this drive right here, gives his team a couple of more runs thanks to an error at the back end of it. It's 3-0 and eventually 4-0 in favor of the Cougars. How about this right here? The Tigers trying to fashion an answer in this one in the bottom of the frame. Cordy Kiger, Mr. Power himself, belting a solo home run to cut that lead to 4-1. Love Cordy Kiger, great player. Cody Wilkins, though, settles in nicely right here and kept Scotland County in check offensively until the 5th inning. Good defense didn't hurt him either, as out in center field. How about a spark? How about Dalton Sparks? Getting it done on the hop. Beautiful leather. Flashing it, getting it done right there. Cordy Kiger entered the 3rd right here to try and hold the Cougars at bay. Got a strikeout early, and then things would turn on him as well. He's a great pitcher, one of 2 aces on that staff. But right here, it's Drew McCutcheon going yard. We think for the first time in his varsity career, he asked for the baseball. That was my tip-off. Did a great piece of hitting. Good for him. That makes it 6-2 at that point. We're not done yet. The big pyrotechnics, and they were necessary, come a bit later. Bases juice for Ryan Waterman. Are you kidding me? This ball flying deep past the sewage treatment plant and whatever else was next to the diamond today. It was a little fragrant out there, but we're baseball fans. We dealt today. 10-2 at that point. Scotland County, though, comes all the way back, makes a game of it. 10-9 was your final. Highland pulls off the upset. Ryan Waterman, the hero today with that outstanding grand slam. You might see that a little later in this show as well. So how does the championship game shake down? It shakes down in favor of Highland as Jeff Enning's team kind of finally put it all together today. They beat a very good Marion County team 12-8 in the nightcap tonight. And how about in the 3rd place game, Austin Thrasher? I mentioned Cordy Kiger being one of those 2 aces. Austin Thrasher still hasn't given up an earned run this season. Didn't give up one today as he picks up yet another victory. Scotland gets it done for 3rd place today, beating the host team by the final count in that one, as you saw there, of 13-3. Also down in Madison, Canton opens its day with a 10-8 victory today over Community R6 in the first ball game. Actually, that was a 10-0 game. I correct myself there. Sorry, hit the wrong number there. Canton wins 10-0 early, and then in the championship game against Madison, 21-9, as the Canton Tigers today bang out 12 extra base hits between two games. Canton is flat rolling. So too is Louisiana all of a sudden. They put the offensive bats together and got some things going as well. Winning 18-5 over Mark Twain was your final there. We've got some soccer scores to pass along today. Hannibal, a 1-0 winner over Marshall. Kendal Welch with the golden goal in that one. And in penalty kicks today, heartbreak for Holy Trinity. They lose 2-1. Abby Boeding had the evener in the second half. But again, penalty kicks go the other way tonight on Holy Trinity. Tennis. Quincy High School finishes 4th as a team at the Richwoods Invitational. 3 medalists on the day, including Andrew Fauble, who finished 3rd today at #1 singles. And a little love to my friends of the academic type nature. You ask, we provide. Got a score for you there to pass along today as Knox County ends up losing tonight in the competitive Campus Bowl Championship. Trivia, science, math, everything you need to know. Knox County was leading after the 3rd period, but drops to Schuyler County in that one by the final count of 310-250. A shout out to my people, Tim Jones and Bryce Cardwell, who earned all district honors in the offing. And thank you to my friend Nathaniel Harder for those scores. Hey, you call it in, we'll put it on. We're all things to all people. We've got a really interesting story about some scary stuff happening in high school sports coming up next right here in Overtime. You were fine. No, you were good.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. It is a grim reminder of the sad state of educational funding in the land of Lincoln, not to mention the tenuous future of extracurricular activities, be they athletic, academic, or artistic. It affects all of them in our schools. Now, in an effort to make budget, the Beardstown School Board has had to do away with all middle school athletics and all middle school and high school clubs. But to their credit, the young Tigers affected are showing the kind of perseverance that would make any coach beam with pride. With our Seeds of Greatness segment, or perhaps better titled Seeds of Survival on this night, Will Wilson finds out how this and future generations of Tigers are trying to keep alive a very important piece of the total student experience.
When faced with adversity, the heart of a competitor truly reveals itself. And as a team, each individual supports each member side by side, win or lose. For the students at the Beardstown School District, their hardship has hit strong. Losing their athletic and school clubs, there was only one thing they could do: unite.
The students didn't want to just sit by and lose all of these great programs, so NHS started this fundraiser, Save Tiger Nation, and we have almost every club being represented here today and every sport. We have a dunk tank, we're selling t-shirts, silent auction, raffle, dinner. We have tons of stuff going on, and we really hope that we can bring them back next year.
All of us just, we had to come together and get this done. And I mean, NHS, National Honor Society, that's kind of what we do. We help the community, we help the school. Student council is always trying to do that. We're the voice of the people. FFA, they're Future Farmers of America, but they're agriculture. They need to get stuff done. So that's what we all just banded together and decided that we had to do something to be able to get, this accomplished, to get the money that we were going to need to, get through this.
I believe they had a goal of $70,000 to raise, kind of high, but just to get as much as we can and have everyone come out and enjoy themselves, to show the importance of all the clubs and sports that we have here.
It was very tough at first. A lot of people were trying to figure ways to come up with how to get this stuff back, and that's how all this arose. And I think it's kind of cool how our communities come together just for this, though.
Without wasting any time, the students and residents of Beardstown got to work. There isn't any guarantees, but it doesn't matter. It's about a collective effort towards one common goal: defining the character of this town, never giving up.
This community has been great. The kids have been great. I couldn't ask for a better group of officers and workers for an activity like this. They put it together in 3 weeks, and we probably had 500 people through already. We sold out on dinner tickets. Have you checked out our silent auction, our raffles, our activities? Every club, every sport was invited to participate, and most of them are.
When things get bad in our community, like last year we had the flood, everybody joined together to make sure that things could get done for the best and that everything would be okay. And when this happened, the community was fully on board to help bring back these programs. We're very close, and we want to do whatever we can to help.
It shows that we're a really close community, how not only the flood, but how our schools pulled together just for this. Like, our community is having an adult tiger booster for this, April 26th, but our school is also holding one today, and it's kind of cool how the students are actually doing one instead of the adults pulling it together.
We all just started getting together, we started having meetings, we started throwing around ideas. I mean, this started out as just being a dinner. And then every day we're like, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we add? We were throwing around crazy ideas, and we've just got as much as we can. And some of the stuff we weren't able to do that we wanted to, but I mean, just the turnout that you can see here, this is only a part of what we have. And it's just amazing that the community and the clubs all came together like this, and the student body to, help the school and the sport program and clubs. It's just amazing.
And we've got spring football for you. Bruce Craddock Memorial game tonight. Brett Taylor, homegrown Leatherneck, looking really good. 3rd and short, sniffs out the run right here on the intended draw and kills it. Mr. Taylor got a ton of playing time at linebacker, dropping back in coverage, looking good right here, picking up the tackle as well. How about some scoring in this game? Purple squad got on the board first, courtesy of J.C. Baker, who basically did all the heavy lifting on this drive, bunch of 8-yard runs, and then polished it off finally at the end, or I should say at the beginning of the second quarter with a 2-yard run, made it 7-0 in favor of the Purple at that time. The White squad trying to make some things happen. They answer with a power running back of their own, Nico Watson, big-time pickup. Tell you what, though, the White squad kind of got robbed right here. Lance Lenore Jr. looked to be an outstanding catch, looked to be in, ruled against him. That drive stalls. This thing was basically a grudge match push until the end of the ball game. 7-all win from 44 yards away. Camp Point Central's Nathan Knuffman, the former All-Stater, the kicker, knocked home a 44-yarder. That was the difference in the ball game as the White squad wins by the final count of 10-7. Let's check out what happened on the hill today as well at Culver Stockton. This, I know, looks more like a basketball score, modified scoring system for Jeff Duvendeck and company. Here's the two things I want to mention, though. The retirees, the local guys, look really good in their first spring game back. That includes Pleasant Hill's Matt Gunterman at quarterback today, 11 of 19 passing, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. And how about Keokuk's Elliott Vandenberg? 7 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown today. Those are big-time numbers. He's not fishing or hunting anymore. He's back on the football field, and good to see. Speaking of action, we've got Quincy University softball in action, taking on Southern Indiana right here, which goes up early right here, 2-1 after this blast to deep center. So the Lady Hawks in comeback mode the rest of the day right here. It's Murphy Armstrong dealing. She gave up the early runs, but she settled in nicely. All business after that. The Hawks then would tie it up as Jessica Grimes comes alive like Peter Frampton today. Beautiful bit of hitting right here to tie the game at 2. Then in the 7th, the Lady Hawks manufacture in this one. Starts with Alana Viking move to third base, and that sets the table just a bit later for Miss Emma Tops. We're going to have a walk-off win for the Lady Hawks in this one, as Miss Tops going to bring her home and make it a 3-2 victory for Quincy University on the day. And they would end up getting the sweep as well in game number 2. Jessica Grimes, who ended up with a 3-run homer in that ball game as well, powers her team to an 8-1 victory. Truman State, rare split today. Jessica Van Nostrand out of Palmyra provided all the ribbies on the day. 3-run homer in the first game and an RBI in the second game. Tough luck losses today all the way around for Culver Stockton. Hannah Washburn, despite a great pitching effort, loses in game 1. And the Wildcats lose in game number 2 in extra innings despite 3 ribbies from Danielle Hearn. Illinois College Day losing as well to Carroll College despite the heroics of Elise Speckhart. John Wood in action against Lincoln today. Game number 1, Blazers down 5-3, bottom of the 5th, bases loaded, no outs. Sierra Jaquez right here of Novinger with a sac fly. That's schooler's Julie Schultz out of Highland makes it a 5-4 game. Kristen Luce, you remember her from Payson, the RBI single to score. Addie Ufkis out of Illini West. We're all tied up at 5 apiece. Alex Wahale, I hope we got that name pronounced right, with a sacrifice bunt. It's a good one. She doesn't even have to sacrifice herself, moving the runners up and getting one home, making it 6-5. Then Bailey Couch out of Knox County, 2-run single to make it an 8-5 lead for the Lady Blazers. How about coup de grace? And we've got one right here, courtesy of Julie Schultz, bases loaded. She's about to do her bidding as well, putting this one into the wind and just letting fly with a grand slam. 2 grand slams in the highlights today, both from Highland products, as John Wood gets it done today and gets the big-time victory in this one. 12-7 was your final. Baseball today, Quincy University gets the win in game number 1 over UMSL. Cody King goes the distance. Game number 2, though, went against the Hawks as they lose 2-1. Truman State today sees Paul Trenhill out of Hannibal come back to life, 3 for 3 in game number 1, then 3 more hits in game number 2. Truman State gets the sweep. John Wood today gets a sweep as well, busting out the whooping sticks against Lincoln. Tyler Johnson, his first collegiate home run in game number 1. Matt Priest with 4 RBIs in game number 2. Culver Stockton today completes the sweep as well. Good weekend for the Wildcats as they win 7-4 and 6-2 over Graceland. HLG fell in game number 1 to Williams Baptist, but Curtis Stout bounces back big time, leads his team to victory in game number 2. And how about Illinois College? Big time run production today at the expense of Knox. Winning twice, Josh Crumweedy out of Carrollton with 3 hits in game number 1. Austin Dormeyer out of Camp Point Central with 3 runs scored. And finally, I want to tell you about some tennis today. Quincy University men keep it going, beat Illinois College 9-0. Finally tonight, let's talk about, I lied to you last week, We had one more nominee to get to. I do apologize for Con Communication Connection, and he is Mr. Ryan Waterman. Glad we waited, because this is a good one to get in. Grand slam that helped propel his team to victory today. Congratulations to Ryan Waterman, our 5th and final nominee. And I swear to you, you can go online Monday at KHQA.com and vote for either Mr. Waterman, Mr. Blickhand, Miss Whelan, whose name I misspelled there. Apologize, Lauren. Also, as well, to Kaylee Kuhlman and Trenton Krebs. All of those nominees will be online at KHQA.com starting on Monday. Vote, and if you vote, you get a chance to be randomly picked for a prize package from Con Communication. More overtime coming up next.